but you design apps or something?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I make computer software basically.
Okay,
yeah.
so you work from home a lot?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is quite, oh, hang on, get this little photo off. It's nice to have that free time, isn't it?
Yeah.
On a day like today when it's not that busy. So welcome aboard again, Daniel. So I put the note at the time on there. You remember where the track goes, and what we'll do with this is we'll go, I'm going to split this in half. And we can compare the first half with the second half.
Okay.
And then obviously the best of the two scores then goes over here, and we'll add that up a little critique here. Same car, second time. Yeah, we'll see how we go. How it goes there. So I'm gonna take the centre mirror, but you've got the two door mirrors. But like we were talking about before, don't worry too much about what's going on behind you. We'll make them do the work. We'll stay where we're supposed to be. So you want to turn it on. So in the other cars, did you use the flappy paddles?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more engaging. But like I said when I was driving around, the paddles are quite short and they're quite high.
Yeah.
So if you try and change gear when you've got a little bit of steering on.
Similar to the Alpine, isn't it?
Yeah, because Renault like to do that thing with the stereo.
Right. Okay.
In a Porsche, the paddles are attached to the steering wheel.
I much prefer that.
So they're always I think that's the better way of doing it.
Yeah, because you've got some lock on. You can't like.
But then if you think about your discipline, you should be changing gear when you've got a lot of lock on.
Oh yeah.
So in principle it shouldn't matter. But in truth, if you've got a little bit of lock on, if you're accelerating through a gradual curve, you might want to change gear. But the way Ferrari and McLaren get around it is they have very long paddles, and Aston Martin, they're all fixed.
Yeah.
But the paddles are really long, they go from there to there. You can't do it in this car because the controls for the radio are down there.
Right.
So that's why they've not done it. But with that in mind, there's no reason why you couldn't do this. Just move your fingers up and pull a gear nice and gently.
Okay.
We'll see how we go. But the core discipline should be that you're not doing that when you're in the corner anyway.
Yeah.
Doing all the braking in a straight line, get the gears towards the end of the braking zone, and then drive the car through the corner. And you're not really trying to change much until you get the wheel back straight. There aren't really any straights at Thruxton now.
Yeah.
So changing the gear through Allard, for example, or just as you get to there, sometimes you have to move your finger up and do it. So
yeah, you always have a little bit of lock on around here.
yeah, certainly on a track like this, because there's never any dead straights. But we'll see how we go. So bring it back to D, thumb on the trigger, and then knock it towards me, put it into manual gears, and you see down the bottom right hand side is the M and 1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And just try and remember the gears we want to be in. Sometimes it might be one higher than you think, but the car's got enough pull in the higher gear, it's just a bit more stable. So we head on out. So when was the last time you were here?
A couple of weeks ago.
Good to go. Excellent. And who did you have as your instructor then?
I think it was David. Oh no, sorry, James.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the driving the Emira.
Right. Oh, James Stevenson. Yeah. So what do you think of the Emira?
Oh, I love it.
It's a beautiful car, isn't it?
Fantastic.
So the silly one's coming. The silly one's got the 4-cylinder AMG engine apparently, and that's got the old Toyota V6. But I think I prefer the V6. So you can visualise your braking zone. You're in fourth, so we need third when we get to the end of the braking zone. So brake earlier and do the gear change later. That's it. You're back on the power. That's a good line. And then from here, it's just gradually increase the power, and you know you've got it right if at no point you feel the need to get on the brakes. Go for fourth here, and then we're going to plant the passive on the right. Bear in mind you probably can't see us. And then somewhere along there you want fifth gear. So this next complex you could do in fourth, but fifth is just a bit more stable. So you do your braking towards the red cone, wait to the middle, and then look for the last blue and gently on the power. And the car like this with this clever E-diff actually helps to drag the car in. Right? And then try and find this groove when you've got the blue cones under my mirror. Looking for the yellow, visualise the green, and then start to add some power. And you can go for sixth if you want, but we want fifth down at the church. Right. But I find fifth and just carrying a few more revs, it's just a little less work to do. So aim out of the red, wait to the braking board, get to fifth, and off the brakes, turn for the yellow, back on the power, because you want that positive weight towards the back of the car, and then squeeze on. Let it rev up a bit higher, and up again there. Plant the passive on the right, there's the invitation, so we're good to go. So for the first time of braking, do the straight line braking thing. So you get to the board, hit the brakes, bring it down the gears 1, 2 and 3, and keep it braking straight towards the red cone, and then you're into the corner, and you're kind of done with the braking now. And if you follow the blue cones to the right and gently back on the power, so that's a good line for qualifying. Okay, and all the way out. Somewhere down here you have fourth gear, so you see that compromise, you have to move your fingers. So at the braking board, just a little lift, just let nice sweep, which means you go on the power now, and you start to accelerate all the way through. Okay, so we get close to the single seater, and after the complex we'll have him on the way up the hill. Just stay close enough that you can smell his aftershave. That's it. So follow it out. He's probably going to cut us off on the left, so prepare for that. Plan to pass him on the right. Yeah, no, he's giving it to us, but I'd rather do him on the brakes on the right hand side. But maybe after the complex. Do your braking again, get it down to third gear. See, he's not braking enough, and look how wide he's gone there. So now we have the edge on him. If he'd been closer, he'd be all over him.
But he has more mechanical grip, doesn't he? So
Well, yeah,
easier for him as well.
he's got less weight, so his tyres probably aren't any bigger than ours, but he's got a lot less weight, and he's got a bit of aero. But it's a mid-engine car, it's very twitchy. It's a little bit braking. So this time, as we come in, let the car drift over to the right-hand side. So as if you were racing someone, and just explore what this feels like. So this is kind of a trail braking style, but you've got that extra bit of steering. And just there, it's a bit of a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, it's struggling.
Yeah. But sometimes you have to be there, past the Mustang, and then we'll pass this guy going up the hill, because he is slower than us. So looking for the red. Doing a bit of braking. So the blue flag is for him to get out of our way, sneak up the inside. He was going well though, and away we go. That's it. And you notice it kicked down and up to 6th gear.
I don't like it when it does that, because we're in manual.
Yeah, but if you're smoother on the pedal, it won't do it. So this time, do your braking, knock it down the gears, and then blend off the brakes a little bit and follow the white line. So this is the trail braking line. So you want to keep a bit of pressure on the brake, but you see you've got extra steering to do, and we're definitely slower here.
But the thing is, the trail braking line I've usually done is we go out wide and then we come in. That's usually how I've done it there.
Yeah. Well, so this time we're hugging the inside line.
Right.
Because you try not to let someone drive past you.
Oh, of course.
So the straight line braking when you turn leaves the inside of the corner wide open. So trail braking is the idea that you've only got 90% of the brakes done before you start to turn in. So we try it here. So braking hard now, down the gears 1 and 2, blend off the brakes a little and turn. And as long as you're smooth between the pedals, you're still trying to slow it down through the corner. And you're lovely between the pedals, so we don't no issue with that. Up we get here. So when we start with someone who's a complete novice, you want to get all the braking done when it's straight, and then just steering when you turn it in. But if it's your first time on track in this car, it's a good place to start. Also, if it's raining, it's a good place to start. So now go back to the normal line. If you imagine I'm up your bum, you're over here, I'm just going to throw it past you there, no eye in the corner. So having a little play with that tight line gives you an idea what it feels like to try and defend. But you're definitely going to have to go slower. It's not by much. So fake to pass the McLaren on the right. Yep, good to go. So we can try this again with Church. We're in the wrong place now. Bit of braking, and the corner's just a lot tighter. Back on the power gently, and as you open up, we're backing over it again. Pass this guy on the right. And up again. So we'll try the trail braking thing again. The benefit of the trail braking is you can brake later. So brake harder now. Start bleeding off the brakes, get third gear, and then just drive in so you carry a bit of speed into the corner. And you own the inside of the corner now. And you see the car's working just a little bit harder. So that's 4 laps done. For the next 2, you choose the one you prefer.
Okay.
So we tried 2 straight and 2 hugging the inside line. So one's a racing line, the other one's a fighting line. Pass them on the right, good to go. Up again at 5th. Around the outside, so we're slightly out of place, but we're more clear behind, good to go. So hard on the brakes, down the gears 1 and 2, blend off the brakes and take the car in. That's okay. Sometimes you get a bit, so you feel the understeer, feel the tyres tucking under the front. So in terms of efficiency, guys were saying you're really quick, which you are, but you're also really smooth, which is great. So we popped back into auto gears, let the car sort of the last little bit at about 20. That was lovely though. That was really good. I really liked that. So you can obviously tell you've been around here before.
Yeah, a few times.
But then it's quick, but respectfully quick as well, which is really good. I mean, there's I've had some guys who are not scary fast, but a little bit alarming, because they're full commit into here and there. And obviously the other fella there, he's quite heavy with his foot. He drives a Golf R, but they're four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So we were quite quick into all the corners, and we had the car moving around a lot more than you did. But then, so either you got a bit more of a feel for it, or because you've done it more, you're just a bit more relaxed.
I'm usually drive rear-wheel drive, so
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of used to being a bit more gentle with it.
Yeah, because they bite you. So when you've done the Alpine, did you have the car moving around?
No, really, it was fine.
Yeah. So I did a couple of quick laps in the Alpine yesterday, and you have to be really mindful that you've got less scope to fix it if you're over ambitious. With a front-wheel drive car, if you're going too quick and maybe you lift a little bit, the car starts to move. You usually can just sort it out by putting a bit of power back in. But in a rear-wheel drive car, you're going to make it worse. So it's more about the planning really with a rear-wheel drive car. That probably shows up when you started driving as well. Actually, I like that. That was good.
Thanks.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll just turn it off. Actually, have a bit of window. So let's have a look at the book. So I mean, I'm not going to give you 10 because then you won't come back. Approach to the corners, I like that. 7, smooth. Steering was really good. Gear changes were really good. Lines were. I'm going to give you an 8 for that because we experimented with that, especially at the last complex, which was really nice. Braking was good, so it was firm. So that's one thing we can maybe try and work on in the second session. In the second session, we'll put the car into sport as well. You feel a bit more lively. Think about the braking zone between the yellow and the red cone at Campbell Cobb and Seagrave. Hit the brakes harder. So use the yellow cone as your trigger. Hit them harder, and work out how much space is left when you've got the speed that you want to turn in at, and then just start moving the whole thing closer to the corner. So if that space is 50 meters, I don't know what it is. If you batter them and say, well, I can do it in 30, then in theory you can wait another 20 meters before you hit them, and hit them that hard. So you increase the workload you do on the brakes, but shorten the amount of time you're doing it.
I think it just kind of felt like the ABS was kicking in or something.
Well, you get so the car's less intrusive in sport. It'll give you a little bit more scope.
Oh, okay.
And the challenge with ABS is if you're feeling it, back away from it a little bit.
So there's a good braking.
Yeah, so there's a good exercise we do at Porsche when we do that. When we get people to go for full 100% ABS, then go for 95% and not use the ABS, and they're always amazed we stop sooner.
Yeah.
So a bit more fuel with the car. So in my racing car, we've taken the ABS out, not just switched it off, it's gone. So if I'm too aggressive with it, I lock the wheels up. So then you start to work out very quickly where the peak place is. So for you, you can, if you're feeling the ABS, take the weight of your shoelaces off the pedal, just bring it back a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
So we can work on that as well, which is really cool. So braking is good. I'm going to go for a 7 with that, and the pace, I'm going to go for an 8. There's not a lot of room to manoeuvre there. So that's 42, 44. Excellent. And then we'll see how that compares with next time. Excellent. So we're going to chill for 10 minutes.